All right, y'all, we back. And we left off talking about this juicy story that I was going to tell you about David and Goliath. Y'all remember when Goliath had presented himself, this big giant of a man that was 450,000 feet tall, and you got this little scroungy little weasel of a man named David, and you know, he's 25 pounds and Goliath is 50,000 pounds. And you know, when you look at that just from a proportional perspective, you say now what are you doing in a place like this up against that? That's a brick wall. That is a mountain right there, and you ain't nothing but a stone. Okay, so but what David did, he had, and this is the foolishness of vision. David has the confidence in God that he will take down Goliath with a stone. Now, I just exaggerated the size of Goliath. This is hyperbole. I exaggerated that, but I exaggerated that so you can see, because there's a lot of things that's in your life right now that it's like, how am I going to conquer this? How do I get on top of it? Y'all know when you're watching MMA fighting, and one of the things is they be rolling around, and they be up in the cage up against the fence or on the ground, and the dude that's on the bottom, somehow he figures out a way to get back on top. And so a lot of us, what we're trying to do is, how do I get back on top of this thing? In other words, how do I get control of my opponent? Because it is my job to take him out, or I'm going to get him in a triangle, or I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to do something. I'm going to get rid of this because I win. The Lord had already told me that I win. But it don't look like I'm going to win, because when he gave me the vision, he didn't show me this. Now that vision, what he didn't show you could be the lack of money, it could be the lack of health, it could be the lack of opportunity, a lack of job, a lack of where you feel that you don't have the wherewithal to accomplish whatever it is that's in your life. It could be any of that. You could say, I don't have the education. I got to go and I have an interview. I got to stand before these people. I don't know what to say. I don't have the experience. It could just be a myriad of things. So as you listen to this, you start to delve into you and say, what is it about me that I'm foolish enough to believe that what God has given me, what he has placed in my hands, is more than enough to take down the Goliath in my life. God will take the little and make it much, much, and even more than enough to conquer your situation. This was David's thing. And so everybody around David is looking and saying, now, how in the world is he going to accomplish this? I don't know. But see what David did, he says, I trust God. Y'all even know it even came to a point to where the Bible talks about Saul offered David his armor. That's another message, but we learn out of that no, when you in the fight, and when God calls you to do something, he calls you to do it with the stuff that he gave you, not the stuff that he gave somebody else. This is the reason why so many preachers can't get ahead, because y'all out there copy, and you carbon copies of somebody else out there. You can't be authentic enough to get your own stuff, or set back and let God saturate you with revelation that he's given you instead of, never mind. Anyway, so David is in this place, and he understands that, listen, I know that this looks like craziness, foolishness. I got this stone, and with this stone, this is all I got. Okay. I know how to work these rocks. See, you gotta work with what you have. I know, David said, I know how to work these rocks. All right. I know that Goliath is armored. I know that he's a giant. I know that he has this sword where he can wield this sword against me and just take my little head right on off. I understand that. But you got to get to the point, beloved, to where you say, who is this uncircumcised? You got to know who you are, and you got to know who your opponent is. Now, if your opponent is of the devil, you know that your opponent is of the devil. I don't care how big it is. You got to say, who is this? What is this that has come up against my life? This uncircumcised Philistine, this uncircumcised thing, health condition, money, lack of, whatever that may be. What is this? Who is this? Okay. So you have to understand that the arsenal that you have is adequate enough for the battle. You have to know that. Now, watch this. The stone that David used, and here's another thing. I'm just not hearing this. The Lord said, tell them that they don't need all 5. They don't need all the stones. However many. They don't need that. All they need is one. With God, all you need is one. If God would have told David to blow, it's over. It's over. It's in the strength, the authority, the power of God, and it's in his might. And if he says blow, if you obey what he said to you, it's done. Over. See you. Wouldn't want to be you. You gone, Goliath. All right? So the stone represents you throwing what you have at the vision. We're still talking about vision. Y'all thought I was lost. So we're still talking about the vision. So the stone now, we're using David and Goliath as an illustration, but the stone represents all that you have to throw at the vision. I told y'all that this vision series is going to get grammatically incorrect with these words, gooder and gooder and gooder. It's going to get gooder and gooder and gooder. And you're going to be helped. Listen, I'm trying to hit you. I'm trying to hit you. Girl, boy, child of God, I'm trying to hit you. So you have to realize that the stone that you have is all that you have and is all that you need to throw at the vision that God gave you. What am I saying? I'm saying that whatever it is that is inside of you, whatever it is that God told you to use and that you have, that's all you need. You got it. You got it. Quit discounting yourself. Stop discounting yourself. Stop saying that you are not enough. Another message I preached a while back. Y'all only been at this for a couple months. But if you go back and you look at it, I know I started off rusty, but I'm getting better and better. Okay, but go back and listen to the substance. Listen to the word that's inside of you. You are enough. And really revelation and understanding comes through repetition. You can't just preach it one time and people say, okay, I got it. No, you have to say it over and over and over and over and over again till people get tired of it. And you say it in different ways, but it still means the same thing. And that's what I'm doing now. All I'm doing is regurgitating something that I said way back and for you to get it. But now you may say, okay, well, the way he said it today, I understand it better than the way he said it, a month and a half ago. I don't care how you understand, as long as you understand it, as long as you get it. So understand that the stone is what you have, and it may be the only thing that you have, but it's all you need to have to throw at the vision that God has given you. I just heard in the spirit somebody that was listening to me or that's going to listen to this, and they said that, but I don't have vision. Again, stop that. Stop that. Stop thinking that you don't have nothing to offer. You do. You do. And that's the stone. You have to discover that. That's the reason why last week I talked about mining you out. Mining means to dig out the gold and the silver. Thank you, Lord. Dig out the gold and the silver that is on the inside of you. Mine it out to discover the the treasure in the earthen vessel. You do have it. When we get off this and you get by yourself, I need you to get in front of God, get on your knees, whatever it is, meditation in the word, and you say, God, what is it about me? What is the uniqueness about me? How did you make me? What was my purpose? I talked about purpose last week. And I talked about where God said to Jeremiah, he says, I knew you before you was even thought about, conceived in your mother's womb. And he says, I ordained you. I ordained you. There was an ordination that I had for you. Your purpose was to be a prophet unto the nation. Now, that seems grand. And y'all say, well, that's Jeremiah. And he wrote about that in the book. Yeah, he did write about that. Jeremiah is in the Bible. He made the canon. And you can make the canon too. You can make a modern day, post-biblical canon that people read about. You can be a walking, living epistle. That if you just walk upright, if somebody can see your works, can see the light inside of you, can see the faith inside of you, can see the encouragement that you bring. Whatever that is, that comes from God. And so that becomes part of the vision, because the vision is inside of the vision. Then you got to find purpose. What's the work? What is the work that I need to do? What's the day-to-day mission? So now, We have this stone, and the stone represents you throwing what you have at the vision. All right. Now, in the natural, it doesn't look like much, but in the spirit, little in God is more than enough. Y'all know it. I ain't got to tell you about the fish in the loaves. I ain't got to just know that story and add that to it. Now, listen. God got behind the rock. God got behind the rock. But David had to have went through. Okay, now this is important. Understand this. David had to have went through conditioning. He had to have went through conditioning in order for him to have the confidence to get behind God to even make that throw, to make that attempt. There is something that you have to know that you know that you know. And that's another reason why I talk about, I say, listen, I'm working out on the backside of the desert. When Moses, when God was calling Moses to do something, he would do something. I told you with the staff. He says, put the staff down. Staff turned into a snake. Pick it up by the tail, turns back into a staff. Moses, put your hand inside your breast. Put it in there. Bring it out. When you bring it out, what it like? It's leprosy. It's all messed up. Put it back in your breast. Bring it out. What is healed? God takes you through something to where you are confident that all I need is this rock. Why? Because I've walked with God. I've walked through some things. And I know in my knower of knowers that this works. I know God. I am confident in God. I have faith in God. That's the reason why I can do exploits and I can do great things. You don't go in front of a myriad of people, thousands of people talking about you a healer and not know that God can heal. You have before you do that, you have already been equipped. There's already something that you've seen that the person that's getting ready to get healed, the people that's there, this big collage, this array of people that they don't know about you. Oh, hold on, listen. I've been with God, baby. You have no idea. And I've been with God to the point to where your doubt in what I can do and your doubt in God, I have faith that enough faith that even with you doubting, I can overcome it. Because of my life, my position and my purpose, my call, the vision on my life to do God's work and to do God's will. All right, so let's stop right there. Oh man, this stuff is good, but I have to break it up in increments. Let's stop right there and I'll be right back.